What's good, YouTube, and welcome to the house. I don't think I've seen a spicy meatball of a deck like this in some time. Aaron McInnes, aka Aaron McInnes, aka Aaron McWin, took down first place at Epik's 300-person Fort Worth Regional. It is actually just insane, and there's so much going on with this deck. I think it's the first Pendulum deck that's not a Pendulum Magician deck to actually get into the top cut with Astrograph Sorcerer. I'm pretty sure it is. We also have the True Dracos going on here, which has amazing synergy with Metalfoe's combination. We'll get into that more later. But Rescue Hamster. This is one of my top 5 favorite Pendulum cards of all time. I had more fun playing with this card in one of my decks that I almost topped the YCS with. It's just so much fun. It's so amazing to see this man's back in a metagame, along with 3 Rabbit. Like, who would have thought you would see the day where Metalfoe is using 3 Rabbit and 3 Rescue Hamster? I'm really enjoying this deck. So let's go ahead and get into his tournament report and his viewpoint on everything, because it's a little more important than my thoughts, I would think. So he says, I played Draco Metalfoe over the weekend. Walking into the room, I had planned on playing Pure, but there were some card choices I wasn't sold on, and Cameron Neal, Cam the Man Neal, and Joey Lynch, Bill Harder, had been talking about the deck, so I made the last second change, and it did pretty well. Round 1, Pure Psyframes, 2-1. You know when you walk into a regional in the new season, and your round 1 opponent is Pure Psyframes, and you're going to game 3? That has to be one of the most frustrating feelings that I think you could have in an entire tournament setting. Like, how many other decks would actually trigger you sitting down? Maybe Chainburn. It's kind of like that. It's a pretty terrible feeling to be going to game 3 against Psyframes. Round 2, Pure Dracos 2-0. So he proves throughout this tournament that he can kind of take the matchup. Round 3, Mech Lord Invoked 2-1. That is a spicy deck. I don't think I've heard of that one. That's pretty cool. Round 4, Magicians 2-0. So taking it down what some are considering now the deck to beat. Trickstars and Magicians are still kind of heading the meta, it would seem, from a lot of what I've been told. The ARG Arizona State had 4 Magicians, so he takes down one of those. Obviously, it's no cakewalk, his tournament. Round 5, Draco Invoked 1-2, and his only game 1 loss throughout the entire tournament. So he's able to win game 1 consistently throughout the tournament, all 9 rounds except for this one. And it's interesting how many Invoked decks he faces, because all of his next 3 rounds include some kind of Invoked. Round 6, he plays against Pure Invoked and goes 2-0 against it. Round 7, a spicy meatball of a deck back, Infernoid Invoked 2-0. And round 8, somebody else who will be sending in their deck list to the channel probably, who was 7-0 and then lost the last 2, Invoked with Fairy Tale Luna 2-0. So that was pretty cool. All these spicy decks in a row, but Invoked seems to be a common theme. 4 matches in a row with Invoked. It's just showing how strong that engine is this format as well. Round 9 is finally Spirals, and it's going second Spirals, and he beats it 2-1. And like I said, there's extras at this tournament. You get a trophy, you get packs, you get a mat, you get dice, and that's from Epik Cards and Game. He wanted me to shout out their YouTube, so that'll be linked down below as well. So he says the deck was super consistent, hand traps hurt of course, but playing multiple engines and hitting one thing doesn't always shut the deck down the way a pure variant or other deck might, or either deck, my bad, might have gotten shut down by a hand trap. A lot of the players are hand dependent. You just gotta put time into the deck and understand the deck's goals against the meta. So you're not getting bogged down by hand traps all the time. And as you see, this deck actually doesn't bother to main the hand traps outside of Astrograph, which I would assume you're usually using progressively. A lot of your cards are able to make it come onto the field, and that's really cool, right? Your pendulum scales get you there, and they get you a resource as well. That is definitely nice, a really nice part about this deck. So he says, we talked, and I was like, can I get a DB link to this? He's like, of course, after showing me some pictures. He says, shout outs to Cameron Neal, Joey Lynch, Robert, who I'm assuming is Robert McInnes of Epik Cards and Games, and the rest of Epik for the support. Nathan for driving, and my boy Jade, I was able to get another top with Rabbit, friend. Or, that's about what he said. So he gets Rabbit up there for his friend. I like it. So I will have Epik's channel linked in the description, but let's get into this deck list real quick in case you guys don't know what anything is. 3 Astrograph Sorcerer, 2 Masterpiece, the true Draco Slaying King. Like I said, it gives you extra advantage because when combo goes even for it, you'll be able to get its effect if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard. So tributing that gives you just an extra piece of an advantage, and immunity to traps can be pretty big in this format. I think you would kind of want to go for monsters because we see a lot of effect failure right now. And all these kind of targeting cards, Masterpiece is stronger than ever, it feels like. We got 3 Rescue Hamster. Oh man. I just love this card. If you don't know what it does already, if this card was normal summoned this turn and you have a face-up level 5 or lower Pendulum monster card in your extra deck, you contribute this card, choose 1 face-up level 5 or lower Pendulum monster in your extra deck, and special summon 2 monsters with the same name from your deck as that card, but their effects are negated, which doesn't matter when they're vanilla. Also, they are destroyed during the end of this turn. Advantage train coming in hot. Oh man, we got 3 Rescue Rabbit as well. That gets you to 3 Gold Driver, 3 Silvered, 3 copies of Steelin, and 3 Wolflame. It looks like no Bismugear in here. It would be a bit clunky for the deck. It looks like you really want to concentrate on the cards that you would be pulling out with Hamster and Rabbit. We've got 3 Diagram, 1 Metalfoe's Fusion, 2 Painful Decision, 2 Summoner's Art, 3 Terraforming, 1 True Draco Heritage, 1 Upstart Goblin, 3 Metalfoe's Combination, and True King's Return. I kind of assume that there's not Emerging Rescue because you can't get to the point, like, for sure where your lower life points to be able to activate it how you would want. Like, you can't depend on drawing something that would get you there. In the side deck, we've got 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, 3 Ghost Ogre, and Snow Rabbit. So I assume this is for when he thinks he's going second. We've got 3 Cosmic Cyclone, pretty good against a lot of decks. Against the True Draco deck, that's pure. It's pretty good against Pendulum decks in general. I like the choice. 3-Dimensional Barrier, we're seeing this in so many lists this format. When you know you're going first against Pendulums, you're just able to call Pendulum. This card is so strong. Like, there's not many decks that it's just completely dead against either. Like, it's good. It's the goo again. We've got 3 Evenly Matched as well. So many card choices for going second here. Almost 12 of them. And like he said, he seems to win game 1 a lot no matter what. Like, it's pretty strong when you go 8-1 in your game 1s. Next deck, Hello Old Friend, Full Metalfoe's Alkahest, 3 Mithrilium, 1 Orichalc, Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon, 1 number 41 Baguska the Terribly Tired Tapir, 1 Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon, Tornado Dragon, good to see ya, Borolo Dragon. Something that gave Metalfoes a little bitty boost is Doolittle Chimera. We got the Fire generic Link monster in this Extreme Force set, so that's kind of cool. As well as the bigger boost, Heavy Metalfoes Electromite, actually finding its way home into a Metalfoes deck. That is awesome. We've got 1 Saryuja Skull Dread, and Zephyra Metaltron. I was so hyped when this card came out, and a lot of people were down on it, but it's really cool to see it come out in a deck. You need 2+ monsters that were special summoned from the extra deck, and that, you know, I think that's not that hard considering you could use a Link 2 for 2 of the materials because it's from the extra deck. It's still special summoned. So, like, you can use a Doolittle Chimera and something you Pendulum summon down into one of its scales in order to get this really powerful monster out on the field. I don't think it's very hard to use or get out, and it's an amazing card. So a huge shout out to Aaron McInnes for taking this one down. Like, That's a hard regional to go into and even top, let alone win. There's so much competition there, and while it wasn't undefeated, the deck still performed amazingly. He had a slew of meta matchups, only one kind of matchup that's still really scary, and he managed to pull it out with some of my favorite cards. I've got to give it to him. It's a good look. And playing 39 as well, I can't... Upstart's not played that often anymore, I feel like, and it's nice to see it return to the top cut as well. So great job, man. I'm rooting for you on this one throughout the format. I think he'll be going to YCS Atlanta as well, if I'm not mistaken. He usually goes to events like those, so if you see him and he is there, be sure to say hi and ask about the spice.